Welcome everyone. Today we'll have a Lost special update and also weekly prediction video. So what is happening is we do have a weekly update and also maintenance. And I want to highlight the most important parts of the update over here with a summary and how does this affect us weekly with a market trend. And over here, I do want to make a weekly report each week before the maintenance or during the maintenance, so you are prepared for the new week. And what I want to do each week is I want to do a likely trend, a mixed trend, and also wild guesses. So those are some of the products I want to highlight to you guys and some of my recommendations what to do after the reset, if you're planning to sell, if you're planning to buy, and what are my notes to it. So what we'll do is we'll base our predictions and also market theories based on the weekly update, which will affect the market because new items will be given and also new changes will be happening each week. And also there's other likely weekly reset trends which I want to talk to you guys about, including a massive supply of the Guardian Stones, because after the weekly, after today's reset, tomorrow everyone will be getting a lot of Guardian Stones, and this will also affect the market. We'll be talking about this as well in this video. Now, because there are new developers notes that are just released, we'll be talking about the implications of those as well. And what you're going to notice is, as you can see in the market, there has been a massive drop in prices for the Guardian Stones, for the Destruction Stones, and also for other homing materials as well, and also the Leapstones. There have been massive drops because players are taking this a drastic approach. Players are reflecting massively because it seems like there's going to be more homing materials that's going to crush the market. But very important that we notice that this will happen on next week. So from most of our understandings, if this will happen on today's patch, this will be revealed over here with weekly update. But this is not happening. This will happen next week. So I think players may be a little overreacting, or maybe price will stabilize over the lower market price at the moment. So we'll talk about this as well in this video, and I'll be adding those parts in for this video. So coming over to the update notes for today's maintenance. This maintenance will start on 12 AM PT, which will be the server time over here. And also this update will be giving some free items. This update will be giving 3,000 of the Grand Pex token. And this means whoever or everyone who comes to the Grand Pex shop can pretty much clear out the shop of the purple books and things that are sellable. And this will massively reduce the cost or the price of those items in a marketplace, and you should be aware of this. So other than that, there's also some compensation for the weekly crystal bonus pack, and also crystals will be returned to players. There may be a small chance of players having more crystals. We'll talk about this as well. So there isn't anything that's too major. They are fixing the Guardian, which is, I think this is a tier 2 Guardian. And other than that, they're saying they will fix the time issue, which is really troublesome. But they haven't mentioned anything about the homing material rate up, and also giving us more progress with tier 3 at the moment. So we'll look into that in the future updates for sure. We haven't seen the roadmap yet as well. Now coming over to our notes, you can see I have highlighted some of the the important aspects of the maintenance. So the maintenance will last for about 4 hours, and this will take us right into the new weekly reset. There will be 300 or 3,000 of the Grand Pex token for everyone. And this means players who come over to the token shop can buy a lot of the homing materials. And this means a lot of players will be homing right away once the weekly reset comes, because they get free materials from the tokens, right? And also they will be selling their purple books. After that, there is also a small chance the crystal price might fall, but I don't think this is a big chance because players might get more crystals as a refund because of this new update. But just leave this aside, I don't think this will change much. The crystal price in my server have been falling steadily, and what I'll do is I'll show you guys the crystal price. Yeah, we do have this excited if you guys haven't seen it. The crystal price in 2 weeks ago is about 900, crystal and also gold price. So gold 1. So basically 900 gold buys 95 crystals. Now the crystal price has fallen to about 700. So the crystal price have been steadily falling because players need more gold as they progress into the game. They have less need for crystals at the moment. Now over here, let's look into some of the important market trend you should be aware once the week starts, or the week starts on Thursday for the weekly reset. There's likely going to be a massive supply of the Guardian Stones and also Destruction Stones, because not only players will get those homing materials from the shop which are untradeable, they can also get those from the Chaos Exchange over here, and also they can get those from the weekly Guildmaster Exchange, and also they can get those from the Pirate Ship Exchange for the Pirate Coins. So there will be a massive supply of those items, and some of those are tradable. So after the weekly reset, those prices of those items will likely to see a drop. especially for the Guardian Stones, because we also get more of them from the daily login, right? So over here you can see the daily login will get more Guardian Stones. Now, there's one thing I do want to highlight is about the players' behavior after the reset. But first, let's talk about other things that may be, massive supplied. We have talked about the Grand Packs shop, and basically if you're planning to sell your purple books, you might want to wait a little bit, because right after the reset everyone will be rushing to sell those purple books, and the price has dropped like by hundreds and hundreds of gold. So if you're planning to sell those, so there's two choices. If you wait a bit, the price will surely drop, but if you sell right away, you might still be able to capitalize on the market price. But there's also a chance you don't get them sold, right? So it depends how much you need the gold. If you need the gold right away, try to sell them quickly for a little discount. And if you're not in a rush, maybe sell them in a few days' time. Hopefully the price won't fall too hard, because you will see another dive in price for those purple books, just because everyone gets 4 books each from the shop, right? And this is almost instant because of the 3,000 free tokens we'll be getting after the patch. Now, one thing is quite interesting is about the Leapstones. This is the biggest gateway for most players to progress from tier 2 to tier 3, and also tier 3 to 1317. Now, because there's a lot of supply of other items, players who just need the Leapstones might have an increased demand for Leapstones and might have a lower demand. The lower demand comes in because yesterday, today, before the weekly reset, we have just gotten a lot of the Leapstones. So basically, let me show you guys over here. So on today, during the reset, everyone have gotten, a lot of Leapstones. And this is why the price of Leapstone have been falling. So yeah, they have fallen from 300 gold in my server to 255 gold. And this is why we can see a lower demand for Leapstones. But after the weekly reset, there's a small chance this price might go up, because players have more Guardian Stones and Destruction Stones. They might be buying more Leapstones, but this is a mixed preference. And also, the lower demand for Leapstones is because player will have a weekly Una's task, and this will give them a surplus of Leapstones at the very start. We'll talk about this once we go over to the Excel as well, the comparison. And finally, I do want to talk about the player's behavior. So this will be the second week of Aggro's patch release. Some of the players who are tier 3 might have missed the first week of Aggro's, and players do want to try the 8-man raid. So there may be a chance of a player self-selected behavior that they may be pushing for Aggro's, and they want to go to 1370. So this will mean that throughout the week, the prices of those tier 3 materials might be going up. But now with the latest news update of the new homing materials that will be coming massively with different raids, with different exchange shop, and also with the PvP exchange. So those new update that is coming next week, players have been adjusting for the homing materials, and there seems to be, bigger price drops just as now as I edit this recording. Because before I was, planning, I was looking into it. So just as now as I was editing the recording, what we're going to see is we're likely the factor of the price rise from the players need to push for 1370 will still be there, but the bigger breakthrough is like we will see the price to fall, simply because players have reacted massively to the homing material prices, and we can see this reflect in the market. We might see the price go up a little bit just during the week, but likely this won't last for long, because this will be preparing for the lower price of next week, which we're going to make a special video about that for sure. So although there may be a small rise of price, it's likely the price will fall greater. So let's say if the current price is about 35 gold or about 58 gold, maybe this will go to 36 gold, but likely it will stabilize around 35 or even go lower because of the massive changes of the latest developers notes that I'm also adjusting to this video as I'm recording. Now, in order to give you guys a better summary of what to buy, what to hold, and also what to be aware of in this new week, so over here I have made an update, and I do plan to make weekly updates. Some of those things might have similar pattern each week, some of those things will definitely have a different pattern, and some of those things could be interesting that you maybe want to be aware that you can make a lot of gold, or just be aware of those, because those things are still tradable, and they're still in the game. They're very profitable sometimes. Sometimes though, not currently, they've been falling. So what I can predict with a pretty fair certainty, and I'll also using a market trend. If you haven't seen our last video, definitely check out the market cheat sheet. So basically, those rate materials for tier 2 and also tier 3 will be rising about within a 6-hour window after the weekly reset. So we have about 10 to 6 hour window, and I usually say 6-hour window to just make it closer. I do think Moose Breath will rise maybe slowly, maybe 10% around. The tier 3 radar materials will definitely rise because remember, players get a lot of those homing materials, and if they're buying those other radar materials, they will be buying those. And it's very likely those prices within about 10 to 6 hours, they will rise from 10% to 30% from the current market rate. So let me show you guys the current market rate. The current market rate for Solar Grace is 108 gold. And basically, I'm thinking that this will rise to close to 120 gold. And if you look at my listing, I'm already planning my listing to sell at 124 gold, 128 gold. So I'm not saying this because I'm making it up. I'm actually planning to do this as well. But if the price doesn't go this high, I can still relist them because I have a shorter window to change my prices. I'll tell you guys more guides about listing timings. So this way you have, allowance to change your timings. In case price changes, you can still change your timings because if you time yourself correctly, this can still work. So I am buying a lot of Solar Grace at around 80 or 90 gold. I'm selling them for 120 gold over here. Now, similar trend will be happening for the tier 3 and also tier 1, tier 2 pouches, but those items are likely not going to see a massive price increase. The best we can see is about 5 to 15%, I think, because it's a much lower demand. But because those items will still be on demand, because everything else will get kind of a free ride, Guardian Stones, Destruction Stones, so those pouches will see a rise in price within the 6 to 10 hour window. So what I mean by that is, if we come over to the calendar, so the weekly reset will happen at 2 AM. The window stops after getting to 11 AM. You want to finish your sell of those items before 11 AM. But if you're looking to buy those items, then it's best for wait at least 1 day for more cascade, for more supplies, and the price of those items would drop massively. Now we have talked about the mixed trend of those items, and the reason being is there's a lot of supplies for those items because of the weekly reset. I do think the fusion materials, so currently if we come over here for the fusion materials, I haven't traded those much simply because I haven't monitored the price much, but I do think the fusion materials like, the Zeta Fusion tier 2 and also the Simple Fusion, I have seen those rise to about 17 gold from 11 gold after the weekly reset. So the 3 fusion materials, I do think there is a chance for them to rise in price, but those are mixed. Because it really depends how much demand there are. It really depends if players are homing for materials or if they're selling the items really fast. If they're selling, the price of this fusion material won't rise. But if they're, if they're homing a lot, make sure you check those prices if you're planning to sell, because the price might rise during this time. But if you're planning to buy, I do think you might want to buy it like earlier because likely the price will rise, or maybe wait throughout the week a little bit because, players will be like, I want it now, and they will buy it now to do the homing. Now over here as an update to the latest developed nodes and also the reactions of the market, which is a sudden panic sell at the moment for the Guardian Stone and also Destruction Stone. And as you can see, as I'm recording, the price went from 35 to 34 now. So the price will continue to fall. And I do want to warn everyone to stay away from investing into the Guardian Stone or the Destruction Stone at this time. Now what you might see is, if you're planning to buy, is after the weekly reset, after 1 to 2 hours, you might see the price massively fall again, simply because of the update, because there's new materials that's coming next week. I do not think this is coming this week, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm getting my words wrong. This is saying next week, right? But market is already kind of shifting and adjusting towards that massive fall. But if you are not in a rush to buy, maybe even wait for next week, because this is when those items will get even cheaper. So if you want to buy at a pretty good discount, I think right after the reset is good, but throughout the week I do think the price will continue to fall. Sometimes they might stabilize. I think maybe Guardian Stone will stabilize at 30 gold, I'm not sure, and Destruction Stone maybe like 40 or 50 gold. So it's hard to tell how the market will react, and if no one buys those items right now, because right now everyone's waiting for the new homing materials, if no one buys, the price will continue to fall. So there is gonna be a massive free material that's coming next week, and market has adjusted to this. So make sure you be careful with those 2 items, guys. Don't hold too many of those. And talking about panic sell, would you be panic selling them? Personally, I don't think I'll be selling mine because I'll still make a loss. I'll just keep mine over here. I have a lot stored up because I was trying to go for 1,370. I thought I needed a lot, but turns out I actually stored up too much. So I did make a loss on those ones, but I just keep them for the future. I'll just use them for the future. Now what you might see is something we'll talk about now is going to be Leapstones. And finally, for the Leapstones, I mainly focus on the Leapstones for tier 3 because we know the tier 2 Leapstones have fallen massively. They're like, 24 to like 20, 30 gold because of the new supply of Leapstones from the login event today. So I mainly look at the tier 3 Leapstones, and on the Leapstones, they're selling for about 245 gold. So what you can use as small reference is, it is about 4 times cheaper than the Great Honor Stones, because 5 of those trade into 1 Great Honor Stones. So this is a small reference you can use to indicate the price probably won't go too low compared to the Great Honor Stones if you divide this price by 4. And I do think there will be a chance of this going back because players are used to this being about 260 gold or 280 gold in my server. But it really depends on how players interact with the new week. Do they want to rush for aggros? Do they want to progress? Or do they want to sell a lot of the items for gold? So those are the mixed trends. And over here, as a further update, even with the latest price crash with the Guardian Stones and also Destruction Stones, because of developers' notes, you can see that Honor Stones have been staying quite strong because this is the final gating item that stops players from progressing, because those will be cheap. And if those are really cheap, players will shift their goal towards Honor Stones. So I do think the Honor Stones were likely to retain some of its price. It might even fall to 200 during the week, but then maybe go back to 250. So right now, the price of the Guardian Stones and also the Red Destruction Stones have been falling massively, but the Honor Stones have been staying quite strong at the moment. Now finally, as for skins and also months, what you might have noticed and what you might have monitoring if you guys are looking, the skin prices have been falling massively and so are the month prices. Notice that currently the prices are going, if we look at the average 5-day price for the Lawmaker set, it went from 30,000 gold to 13,000 gold. This is because players want the gold to progress in the game. They don't want to hold on to skins anymore. And similarly for the Premium set, it went from 150 gold to 80,000 gold. The price have been rising a little bit, as you can see people trying to push it back, but you can see the month price, the most expensive Celebrus month at the moment that's frequently traded, 270,000 gold to 17,000 gold. So there have been some massive falls in prices. You can see, the sellers are trying to bring it back. So those items are mixed. I cannot read the trend at the moment, but it is likely players still do want gold over the skins and also months because they want to progress to 1,370. In about a week or two, those can be some really good investment. But at the moment, we want a gold for other stuff, right? So those are some wild guesses. If you want to trade in those are very unpredictable at the moment. The price can fluctuate massively. They can go down by tens and thousands of gold, and then can go up as well. Now, because we know we'll be getting a new skins and also new months and also new pets for the next week patch, so this might also impact on the skins and also months over here. And this might negatively impact on those, and the price of those items might fall. But it's quite hard to determine because the skins and also months I was looking at are the limited conditions of the Founders Pack. So although those might fall, they might not fall dramatically. So just be aware, next week is when things gets crazy, and we'll definitely have an update video of the Excels and also comparisons of the next week update for everything for this price of items and what to trade and what to avoid. Now, hopefully you find this update video for the weekly pricings and also the weekly patch helpful. I do want to make those videos because I have been monitoring the market closely, and I want to give you guys some insights of what might happen, how the price will change, and how you can make some profit. And this is in combination with the weekly update, which will happen every week before the reset. So I want to make this video around this time so you can be better prepared for the weekly reset. And just be aware guys, before we finish, those are my personal predictions. So for my server, and different servers might have a different trend, and I might not be always right. So definitely don't follow me blindly. Think about how things work in your server and don't invest everything in. Just test the water a little bit, and if they work for you, next week you can invest more of it. But if it doesn't work for you, just be aware, we take this as a learning lesson. The more we learn about the market, the more gold we can make in the future. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you do so, because we'll be getting a lot of guides, a lot of tips as I discover them, and I love the game. So I want to share as much as I can with you guys, and let's have a great time in Lost Ark as we explore this game and get the most out of it.